Everton to get us underway. Palace aiming to jump off the bottom of the table for the first time this season. Beaten, of course, 4-0 opening weekend of the WSL campaign, as Everton were, but then thumped 7-0 in their second game. They have always struggled. It was always going to be difficult for them, but with their new coach, Leif Smadder, now in charge, there is a glimmer of hope. And it was interesting when the Opta figures came out this week ahead of this weekend's fixtures, and it suggests now that Crystal Palace have got a 22.8% chance of finishing in 11th place and could potentially finish as high as 8th. The Opta supercomputer has redrawn the stats, and now they have a 69.1% chance of going down. That was much higher ahead of that game against Aston Villa. It was such a big win, and it was such a good performance as well. They thoroughly deserved it, and it really has brought not just Aston Villa into the relegation mix, but Leicester as well, West Ham, maybe even Everton, you would suggest. Yes, there are 7 points between Everton and Crystal Palace, but a win here, of course, for Crystal Palace. And that gap would just be 4. It's going to be a rare old battle at the bottom, that is for sure, between now and the end of the campaign. Everton favourites to win this fixture nonetheless. Their form has been pretty good recently. Yes, they were beaten by Arsenal last time out, but they did beat Aston Villa prior to that. And generally their form has been pretty good over the course of the last couple of months or so. And it's usually all or nothing. Haven't drawn any of their last 7, but they've been good when it really mattered, I thought, since the turn of the year. They've put up some good performances against those mid-ranking sides, and they'll be aiming to get the better of a Palace side that they could only take a point off in the reverse fixture. 1-1 draw when they first met, first ever meeting in the WSL between the two. Eagles opened the scoring that day after just 29 seconds through India Page Riley, but Everton managed to grab a share of the spoils. Palace will take the goal kick here. Good pressure from those Everton strikers. There is an energy, an effervescence about the way that Everton have gone about their business recently. That's embodied really by Tony Payne, who's been terrific up front, thoroughly deserving that goal against Arsenal. It was a goal that drew Everton level at 1-1. They were beaten 3-1 in the end, the Merseysiders. But really pleased with Tony Payne, because she's been playing so well, so much industry and energy, gives an awful lot for the side. But that was a breakthrough goal this season. But she has been weighing in with a number of assists this campaign. 3 so far in the WSL. Here she goes and gets there first. Early opportunity then for Everton to get some players inside the penalty area, perhaps. Was Honoka Hayashi that scored the leveller with 18 minutes to go when they met in South London. Won't want to leave it that sort of late this time around if it will end up being just a share of the spoils, but fancy Everton starting on the front foot here, aiming to press home their home advantage. Got the better of Villa time before last away from home. Really good performance, that 2-0 success at Villa Park. Well, click the link pinned in the comments to keep up with all the latest Barclays WSL news. Bouncing ball that's claimed here by Shea Yanez. And would you like to win a Barclays WSL signed shirt and pair of tickets to any match this season? All you have to do is scan the QR code to enter our competition. Signed shirt and tickets of your choice up for grabs. Everton with a throw. Taken by Heather Payne. Touch for Van Heverman, and now it's with Mjelde, who's done so well since coming back to England. Scored against Aston Villa, of course. She scored an own goal against Arsenal. back in the WSL after playing for Arna in Norway, where she started her career. That's a clever clearance. Needed to be cleared as well. Crystal Palace under a little bit of pressure early on. Mjelde. Awful lot of experience, of course, with Chelsea, six-time title winner, 4 FA Cups as well. Norwegian international, has been in recent squads, but just brings that experience, that knack, that know-how, that calmness to Everton at the back, and pretty useful going forward, as we're seeing here. Van Hevermaat plays it back. This is Martina Fernandez. Now it's Mjelde once again. Everton still missing key players, of course, which is a real shame, as Payne looks to try and get on the end of that. Their plans, unfortunately, went up in smoke with the injuries to Gali and Gabarro very early on. ACLs, unfortunately, keeping them out. Finnegan still missing through injury. Luana Ribadera is out with a foot problem at the moment, incidentally. Palace have got 1 or 2 issues of their own, although Hayley Nolan is on the bench for this game, incidentally. Amy Everett currently out injured. Fitzgibbon's not in the squad either for the second consecutive game. It looks like Crystal Palace are going to bunker in here. Low block. Everton not used to having all of the possession. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with it. Their average possession this season, 43.5%, ranks 9th in that particular metric. So they're going to have to play a slightly different way to what they usually do. Presents a different problem potentially to Brian Sorenson's side. Palace content to try and play on the break. This is Woodham. Good running from Larisi. Canadian does get a good-looking ball in as well. Here the turn and the fine save from Brosnan. It was Ashley Verdon that took the shot on. Really good running. Brilliant ball down the flanks here. Larisi did get the cross in. Verdon turned inside the area. Snapshot. Did score against Villa in that 3-1 home success last time out. A couple of goals in the FA Cup win over Sheffield United. Also scored over Newcastle in the Cup this season. Heather Payne, can she keep it in? Just, I reckon. Good running from Payne. Has got some support here with Snowis as well to the edge of the penalty area. And Hevermaat looking to dance inside the penalty area. Should be cleared away by Crystal Palace, but not competently, and Everton come again. It's been a positive start here from the team in blue. Snowis loses out. Palace come forward again. Woodham. Cato. Touch from Lexi Potter. Missed out against Villa because of a 5th yellow card, so was out suspended for that game. Here is Woodham again. Well, confident and competent play at the back, but Everton won't mind the ball being there. Transition to forward areas now. See what Abby Larkin can do. Over towards Josie Green, can't keep that one in play. Well, Everton quite content to play it around at the back here, just looking for the opportunity to push forward. Mielda will play it out towards Brosnan, who's been forced into that save nice and early, looking to add to her 3 clean sheets so far this season, ever present so far this campaign. Got a really good save rate for a side in the bottom half of the table of 79.2. Contrast that to Shea Yanez at the other end, just 63.2 this season for a side that has struggled. And of course, Palace have conceded the most goals in the league at 40, but they have scored 15 as well, which is more than Leicester, the same as Everton. Just defensively, they've got to sharpen up just a little bit. Just the 1 clean sheet so far this season in the WSL. That was away from home, though. The 2-0 success earlier this campaign at Leicester. Payne forward, loses out. Stengel to turn, always comfortable on the ball. Having a really good time of things at the moment, Katie Stengel. 3 goals so far. Just playing in behind a forward 2 in possession. You can see Verdon on that right-hand side and Larissa on the left. Canadian is yet to score since coming to Crystal Palace, but combination play with Stengel and Ashley Verdon has been good. Did score for a national side recently in a 7-0 success against Chinese Taipei. And she came from BK Håkan in Sweden, where she got 20 and 65, so she knows the way to go, Clarissa Larissy. Woodham. Now this referee blows here because the flag was up. Everton have scored in each of the last 5 WSL home games, 9 goals all told. Last netting in more consecutive league matches on their own turf back in October 2019. Through until the following campaign under Willie Kirk. That was 9 in a row. Plenty of stats that would suggest that Everton should with this one. Certainly given the positive clean sheets for Crystal Palace so far this season. Payne will play it back. This is Mielda. Defeat against Arsenal at home after back-to-back wins for Everton on their own patch. Beat Leicester 4-1, beat Spurs in the FA Cup 2-0 as well before getting knocked out by Chelsea in the FA Cup in the 5th round. Went down 4-1 away from home. They did take the lead in that game. Also took the lead against Chelsea in the league recently. They were beaten 2-1, of course, last month. Lauren James in the 90th minute, giving Chelsea the full 3 points. This is Verdon. And now it's Cato looking to curl it through. Nice idea, but Martina Fernandez is in the way. And Everton come away with possession with home guards. This is Hayashi. Home guard again. Layoff there from Gago, who started her Everton career in spectacular fashion. 3 goals in 6 WSL appearances so far. Scored against Chelsea in that 2-1 reverse. Signed from Nantes in the winter in January. After a couple of goals in the French top flight this season. French international, was in the Nations League squad just last month. Good experience in the European game at St Etienne. Also played in Italy with Sampdoria. Van Hevermaet. Well, Crystal Palace look fairly comfortable at the moment. A point, incidentally, would not be enough to see them jump above Aston Villa because of the goal difference. And it might come down to goal difference come final reckoning. Minus 25 for Palace, minus 16 for Villa. And we would see them jump to 12 points, same as Leicester. But again, Leicester's goal difference minus 14. Immeasurably better than Crystal Palace's. Leicester play Brighton tomorrow. Villa, tricky game against Manchester United, who are looking to keep up the gallop when it comes to qualifying for the Champions League. They're in third place at the moment, of course, behind Arsenal on goal difference, with Chelsea looking good for a title once again. But outside the big four, those middle ranking sides of Brighton, Liverpool, and we're suggesting Spurs as well, although they're 4 points behind Liverpool at the minute. And then after that, should Palace win here, it's going to be an almighty scrap to avoid the drop you fancy. Getting back-to-back wins would be huge for Leif Smedded. And of course, replace Laura Kaminski in March. Here's an opportunity for Crystal Palace, but the ball towards Stengel wasn't quite good enough. Just some hesitant defending there for Everton. Not the best from Mjelde. Needs to be a little bit stronger there, doesn't she, against Larissi? Glanced up to her right. I guess it was the right play to try and find Stengel because the angle was getting very short and Brosnan was in a good position. Palace just enjoying a little bit of a spell here. Swelby just pushes it forward. Touch there from Kato. Much better from the South Londoners. Here's the skipper once again, Alison Swelby. It's a bit of a battle on this near side. Larissi unable to impose herself on this occasion, but that's good play. And then he's curled to the edge of the area. This is Stengel. A good play from Larissi and also from Abby Larkin as well, wasn't it? Well, Everton started promisingly on the front foot, but Crystal Palace are giving Everton a little bit to be worried about all of a sudden. Tony Payne. Van Hevermaet. This is Mjelde. Van Hevermaet once more. Gago gets the second touch. Tony Payne onside. Heather Payne to deliver the ball in. Cleared away. And the ball just dribbles behind. Tony Payne wants the corner. She doesn't get it. It's that one goal against Arsenal we referenced earlier, signed in the summer from Sevilla, 6 last term in the Spanish top division, 6 years at Sevilla after previously enjoying a good spell at Ajax, a title winner in the Netherlands. United States-born player who switched to Nigeria, did play in the Olympics last summer. And after failing to score or assist in each of her first 12 WSL appearances, 4 in 4 now in terms of goal involvements, 1 goal, 3 assists. She has come to the party in terms of producing what we knew their effort would eventually come good with. The Payne to take the throw. Mjelde. Brosnan lets it run through. This is Fernandez. Slowing down once again here. Holmgaard. Touch for Ladd, who's been a really good signing for Everton, came from Manchester United. 7 appearances on the spin after failing to start a game in the WSL for United this season. Just clip towards Hayashi. Always technically good on the ball. This is Holmgaard. is there a way forwards here for Everton once again? It's neat and tidy in that middle third, but it's the final third that they've got to be a little bit better. Easily intercepted. Swelby coming out and looking to go long here. It's a nice idea, trying to get Larissy in. Van Hevermaet. Bain will play it back. This is Fernandez. Well, been pinned back inside their own half at the moment by Crystal Palace. Have won only one of their 8 WSL away games this season. 5 defeats, 2 draws. Gago on the move, shoulder to shoulder with Swelby. Have conceded 3 or more goals on 5 occasions away from home, more times than any other side in the WSL. Their only win coming back in October against Leicester at 2-0. A success. They won against Villa, of course, coming on home turf south of the river last weekend. This is Mjelde. Everton's turn to try and press. Luis Mellard was really impressed with his charges off the back of the win over Aston Villa. Said he was impressed because high pressure games like that are not easy. Said that the team has had a tough campaign so far, coming from many bad experiences, especially at the end of games when they've lost points and potential victories. He credited the resilience of the side against Aston Villa. Stengel. Space here for Larkin. Now it's back with Woodham. Oh, Gago spots that really well. Terrific interception. Tony Payne to lay it off. Evanson coming forward potentially here. This is Heather Payne. Well, from a promising position. Back just outside their own penalty area, although they do retain possession. 15 goals scored for Everton this season, expected goal figure of 15 as well. Their expected goals against 26.8, and they've conceded 25. Fernandez. Gago's layoff. Home guard coming forward. More promising this for Everton. A bit more energy. Gago in field. Easily picked up by Lexi Potter. And now Ashley Verdon on the move. Opportunity maybe for Crystal Palace to break here. Good running. Larkin, can she pull the ball back? It's towards Ashley Verdon. Should be cleared away. Expertly picked up and distributed back towards home guard. Clever play. Payne. This is Mjelde. Last away defeat came against Manchester United for Palace. Their last away point against Brighton. Tony Payne backing up the Palace defenders here and still moving to the byline. Got the final touch on that. It's good covering, good defensive work. Credit Lily Woodham. Welsh international who's heading for the Euros, of course, in the summer after that win over Ireland in the playoffs last autumn. Yanis. Under pressure straight away, the Palace keeper, Gago and Tony Payne. putting in the effort to close down, but Palace go long. Nodded back by Holmgard with a bit of interest. Nearly spins for Gago here. Ball has gone out of place. Welby's last touch. That's going to be a throw-in for Everton. 25 minutes in here. Everton 0, Crystal Palace 0. Not a lot to choose between these two. Everton have bossed possession so far, 70.3% of the football. Haven't done too much with it just yet. Got an expected goal tally of 0.02. Palace win it back. Bedno can't keep the move alive. And it's one back again here. That's real positive play. Stengel, so good on the ball. Looks to filter it forwards here for the run of Clarissa Larissy. Doesn't quite work out. Hayashi turns, foul by Lexi Potter, only just back from a ban and in trouble with the referee already. Gago, Schnois looks for the quick 1-2. Schnois might get another go here. Still unable to do so and get beyond and inside that Palace penalty area. Oh, just got away from Stengel. A lot of experience around the world in Australia and America as well as Europe. Title winner with Bayern. Van Hevermaet. Holmgard to the left-hand side. Payne wants it towards the byline. Holmgard comes back, looking for a different way in. Crystal Palace with plenty of players back here. Clever towards Hayashi, but the run was watched by Yanez. Yanez will roll it out for Lexi Potter. And now Lily Woodham. 0-0. Would Palace take a point? Debatable. They will surely want to try and kick on and maybe just change their tactics slightly in the second half. It's such a difficult one to call, really. They have got some really tough games coming up after this. They take on Arsenal at home. And then after the break, it's Palace at home. Sorry, Chelsea away for Crystal Palace. And then games against West Ham and Leicester before finishing away at Manchester City. So the next two are tough. The two after that, very winnable. How many points are you going to need to maintain your top flight status? I'm sure that those of Palace persuasion will have worked out how many points are on offer, how many points their side are likely to get. Holmgard to drill in low. Gago unable to get on the end of it. So this is very much a game where you think, if Palace continue what they've been doing recently, it is winnable. Villa, as we mentioned, they've got Manchester United tomorrow, then an away trip to Liverpool, then away at Spurs. Neither easy. Bit ranking teams really before taking on Arsenal at home. West Ham away from home. Last game at home against Brighton. And it won't be just Aston Villa fans hoping that Palace lose today. I can tell you that much, because all those teams, the likes of Leicester in particular and West Ham, they don't want Palace coming up on the rails, that is for sure. Brosnan. Fernandez. Holmgard to control brilliantly. Gets it out from underneath the feet and looks to move forward. Hayashi, always clever in possession. Holmgard on the overlap here. Blue shirts coming inside the penalty area. Cross towards the far post. It's not the worst. Gago jumps. Decent ball in that. Was dipping. Gago just needed to readjust the run a little bit. Needed someone coming in far post. underneath the studs, but Josie Green should be able to control this. She does well. Kato gives it away though. It's a little sloppy. She's been helped out. Stengel saw that, came back, intercepted. It's a better ball to this near side from Kato for Woodham. Every now and then you get these little bursts from Crystal Palace where they play in the opposition half and they look much better. We're on a run of 3 defeats in League and Cup. We're beaten by Chelsea in the FA Cup in the quarter-final. We only went down 1-0 away from home. It's a defeat, but they can be proud of their performance against Chelsea. Lost to United and Liverpool prior to that, and then obviously off the back of that cup exit beat Aston Villa. This is Hayashi, makes space nicely. She knows she's calling for it, lets it come across her body. Tries to get Heather Payne in here. She got the pace to keep it in, not quite. But 2 wins the last 5 in all competitions for Palace. Just 3 defeats in their last 6 in all comps as well. Scored in 5 of their last 7. Hasn't been scoring really, that's been the issue. As we mentioned earlier, it's just been the clean sheets or lack of. Only clean sheet against Leicester away from home back in October, 0-13 now. Stengel nods it down the line. Larkin battles well, but Heather Payne did better. And now it's with Ladd. Van Hevermaet. The idea was to get Gago down the line, but she was moving infield, and that ball's going to dribble out for a goal kick. No goals in a key encounter towards the foot of the table as far as Everton are concerned, and right at the bottom for Crystal Palace. A point here would push them on to 10, same as Aston Villa, but with a vastly inferior goal difference. South Londoners surely will shake things up in the second half. Don't think they've played particularly poorly here, but Everton have had more of the ball. But I'm sure that Leif Smerit has worked out how he wants his side to play in this game, and it might be a low block, look to hit on the counter. It's nearly worked on a couple of occasions when they've got through. We've seen Larkin and Larissy in good positions. Meanwhile, what has Adesanya spotted here? Issue maybe with Shea Yanez. Gloves are coming off, treatment required. Well, a game that's had few significant opportunities for either side, but Crystal Palace arguably have come closest to grabbing a lead. Really good running here from Larissy. And then they shot on the turn from Ashley Verdon. Brings a good save out of Courtney Brosnan. She read it well, footwork was good, got down to her right-hand side. Leif Smerit there just giving some instruction out to his team here while Yanez gets a little bit of treatment. Outfield players being spoken with. There's been passages of play for Crystal Palace where they've looked really good and they've looked to take the game to Everton, but obviously you start playing that way, you can leave gaps at the back and it can provide opportunities for the opposition. They'll be mindful of that, but Stengel drops a little deep and they've got good energy and good pace up front as well in Verdon and Larissy, and we've seen Larkin join in as well. At some stage do they try and be a little more front-footed, a little more ambitious against Everton, who have had more of the ball. Brian Sorensen during his 3rd season now in charge. But as we mentioned earlier, and everyone knows that injuries to key players, players that they brought in who thought could lift them towards the top of the table and be a real player in the WSL. It's such a shame that we haven't seen the likes of Galen Gabarro. And yes, hopefully okay to continue. Although Mila Majasari has had 3 appearances in the WSL this season. She's the substitute keeper at Finnish international. So a good replacement if required, but Nunez hopefully will stay on. Seemingly that will be the case. The layer from Hershey, not quite good enough for home guard, and Crystal Palace have a throw. 10 minutes to go then. First half, there's been a little cagey maybe, but tactically interesting to see how these two teams go about their business. Palace with a low block and Everton looking to play a little more on the front foot. Certainly different to what we've seen generally against the better sides. They will be the team that will be deep inside their own half. So Brian Swanson's got something to work out maybe there. How can his players affect the play and the patterns further up the pitch? Heather Payne. Looking to go on the outside here of Larkin. Stands her ground well, then loses out, then wins it back. Tenacious play. It's got to be a free kick, it is. Lexi Potter. All a bit awkward as Palace look to try and clear. Morrissey shoved over. No one gets ready to take. Scored, of course, in her first appearance against Villa. 470 days out with that ACL. Great to see her back. On loan from Chelsea, of course. Swaby. Given away. Snowis. Gacko. Stengel. Now for Kato. Stengel again. Oh, good angle to find Lexi Potter, and that's a clever ball as well. And Mikato can stride forward. And now it's Larkin trying to use a pace. Good covering. Ball knocked out of play for a Crystal Palace throw here. Stengel to divert back, kept in play just by Woodham, didn't really expect it. Stengel to turn, neatly done from Katie Stengel. Curled in but nodded away. Lexi Potter's header. And again. Woodham. Looking to play it back, Woodham once more. Palace having another little spell, but it's going backwards and sideways rather than forwards here. And yes. Swaby. Potter. Makes the ball do the work, comes across her body. Larkin, busy in possession, gets away from the first challenge and the second. It's a really good run here. What about the shots? Well, from some distance and always going wide, but why not have a crack? Scored against Newcastle in the FA Cup this season, the 2-0 success last month. Well, Everton supporters doing their best. Always plenty turn up at Walton Hall Park. The press works. Palace forwards making life difficult for the Everton defenders and defensive midfielders, and Palace have managed to win it back. Potter. Swabby forward. Angle showing good strength. Woodham. Now, Swaby coming forward. Again, all this play in the middle of the pitch at the moment. They close Stengel down quickly. And the ball over the top for Gago to try and chase down here. This is Kelly Gago. And still, can she control? It's Gago. And it's blocked and it's behind. It's the type of ball over the top we haven't seen that often in this first half. And that's mainly because Everton, of course, have been playing in the Palace half. So they haven't been able to get that ball to Gago that she loves to run onto. Brilliant goal against Chelsea earlier this season into the top corner with the outside of the boot. Just didn't quite drop for a good block in the end. Corner to show for their troubles, though, here, Everton. Everton corner. Hoisted towards the far post here. Nodded towards goal, and it's gone in! Van Hevermaet. Jump highest inside the 6-yard box. Everton have the breakthrough 3 minutes before half-time here. Flighted corner. Van Hevermaet jumped above everybody else, and just when it looked like there was going to be a goal line clearance, the touches on the line could only force it into the back of the net. But Van Hevermaet will claim this one. It's a good header, but there's 2 players on the line there. They have to do better. Now and Stengel maybe feeling that each other should have done a little bit better there. It's a really good header, though. She towers above everybody else. The marking was slack. The finish was good. The clearance off the line, or at least the attempt, was not good enough. Well, the breakthrough late on in this first half come from a corner. This is Brosnan. And Palace are going to have to come from behind if they've got designs on winning this fixture. Something that they haven't managed to do in the WSL so far this season. Last time in the Championship was against Blackburn back in January of last year. 3-1 home success when they went down early in that game. But this is the top flight. It is another level. Well, Justine Van Hevermaet, that's her first goal of the campaign. She only scored once last season in the WSL against Spurs. Lots of Reading and Lillestrøm, Belgian international. He did play in the Nations League fixtures recently, played against Portugal. Qualified for the finals in Switzerland in the summer. We expect to see her. And her goal here has given Everton a crucial advantage. 45 nearly up. Fernandez with a header. Verden had that snapshot early on. First and only opportunity that she's had really in this opening half. Everton with the tails up at the minute, and this is Tony Payne looking to run at Swaby. It's still Tony Payne. It's a powerful run, it's a positive run. What about the finish? Great save there from Yanez. Brilliant running this from Tony Payne, looking to take on Swaby on the outside, shows good strength as well there. Aims to come across the keeper really, but that might well have been goal bound anyway. 3 minutes have added on time as we push into the final 3 following the 45. Another corner, danger here, that's for sure, given what happened the last time that Everton had a flag kick, albeit from the other side. Up goes the signal. Home guard to take. In swinger, high towards the back post, nodded down again! Van Hevermaet nearly had a second. Well, she's unstoppable in the air at the moment. So close to doubling her tally and Everton's for the fixture. Got up really well. That's a brilliant stop, isn't it? From Shea Yanez. Really good save. And then forced over the crossbar. Another corner. Homeguard's going to have to take from the other flank. Brilliant header down. That is top-class keeping as well, by the way. Well, Swaby, you can see, I think has been given the responsibility of Justine Van Hevermaet, but it's very, very difficult. One thing attempting it, another actually doing it. Another corner. Left footed this side towards Van Hevermaet again. Comes out for Kelly Gago. Couldn't keep it down. Well, you sense here that half-time needs to come for Crystal Palace. And Leif Smetter needs to get his players in and just get them to reset, because Everton are threatening to get a second here. Van Hevermaet jumps. That's a bit of an awkward fall, but Ashley Verdon will come away with possession. Now then, opportunity for Palace maybe right at the end of added on time. It's Ashley Verdon still going forward. Clips the heels, just unable to make progress inside the box. Game has suddenly opened up. The pace of play has gone up a little bit as well. This is Kelly Gago. Half-time at Walton Hall Park. It's Everton will take the advantage into the break. Justine Van Hevermaet with a header that was failed to be cleared off the line by the Crystal Palace defenders, even though there was 2 there. The difference between the 2 sides. Everton have had most of the ball and created some good chances late on. Ashley Verdon has gone close for Crystal Palace, but at the break here it's Everton 1, Crystal Palace 0. So Katrine Vai is on. A lot of experience, of course, former Arsenal player, and of course a former Everton player as well, so suiting up against her former club here. Underway for the second half then. Everton lead Crystal Palace by 1-0. The goal scored by Justine Van Hevermaet. Really good header that Palace players, 2 of them on the line, maybe should have cleared, but they didn't, and it means Palace have got a mountain to climb now. Everton looking to start on the front foot. Oh my word, 24 seconds into this second half, and Everton, incredibly, through home guard, have got a second. Well, talk about starting on the front foot. It's the best possible start. Gago with the delivery. Home guard gets in front of her marker and glances into the bottom corner. Brilliantly worked, and an unbelievable start to the second period. Well, whatever the instructions from Leif Smetter were to his Palace players, what do they do now? Sensational start to the second half Holmgaard grabs her second of the season. Well, 1 or 2 weren't even sat in their seats. 1 or 2 coming back from getting a coffee at half-time. Still haven't got into their positions for this second period. Then Everton have a second. Blinking, you missed it. Oh, Holmgaard popping up, right place, right time. Oh, Van Havermaet's a little loose here. Big chance for Palace. Stengel. Oh, now then, what's the referee given here? Well, there's an opportunity here for Palace, it would appear. There's consternation amongst the Everton players. Adi Soné is just speaking with his assistant here. Now, what is the decision first and foremost? There did seem to be a challenge on Stengel as she tried to dance through. We really need to see that one again if we can, but the decision still being talked through by the officials. Now then, you can see that Verden closes down. It comes back towards the keeper, and then Van Havermaet here. Oh, now then, there was a challenge on Stengel. Advantage seemingly played. Stengel was caught by Van Havermaet. The penalty has been awarded. However, there is currently a decision to be made here. Was it inside or outside the penalty area? That was very close. And also, are we into the next phase of play? Well, what a dramatic start to this second period. The bottom line is that Crystal Palace have been given the opportunity here. Or have they? Well, there's real confusion. And in the end, there's going to be a drop ball for the Everton keeper, Courtney Brosnan, to pick up. Well, I think there's been a change of mind there from the referee, Adi Soné, because initially he did point to the spot. You could see the Everton players thinking, what on earth has gone on? But I guess advantage was played. Well, the bottom line is we're as we are, and Crystal Palace find themselves 2-0 down. They looked like they were going to take a penalty. It seemingly was awarded, then wasn't. Yeah, a lot of confusion around that. So Palace, for a split second, looked like they were given a little bit of a lifeline, but not the case. One of those situations where, because Stengel continued on, I guess we're into the next phase of play, and advantage was given. If Stengel had just gone down, well, potentially that penalty would have stood. It is an odd situation. You can sort of see what the referee has done there. Stay on your feet, you try and be honest, you try and get the shot away. It was 2-on-1, really. They should have done better, shouldn't they, really, if we drill it down. But chance missed, penalty not awarded. Can't really have two bites of the cherry, so I sort of tend to agree with it in the end. Just a little bit of a mess the way that we got there. 5 minutes into this second half, drama at both ends. Net result, Everton still lead by 2. Long discussion between the officials, but I think, in my opinion at least, they've come up probably with the right call. To their credit, the Palace players here, they've well, they didn't surround the referee, they've just got on with it. This is Verden with a low ball in and a corner. Got pace with the ball at her feet. Good looking ball in as well. You could see that Larissy was just in behind. Well, Larissy and Stengel, they've got to stand up and be counted here. The senior players, the goal scorers, the players that can make something happen for Palace now. Corner, 6 minutes in. Driven in low. Flick not quite good enough from Catherine Vai, but another opportunity. Signed in the summer from Everton, 13 appearances for the side that she plays against last season. 2 years at Everton, Danish international. And it comes again. More air on this one. Another good cross that's dug out, punched away by Brosnan. Lexi Potter has a swing at that. Still Palace coming forward. Potter again, it won't fall for her. Everton will clear. But a sense of urgency, certainly from a Crystal Palace point of view. They must think here, look, 2-0 down, but we've competed. Vi with a touch. Woodham down the line. Potter threads it through. Ashley Verdon, fast feet, good control on the edge of the area. Vi's coming in on this as well. Tees it up towards the far post, cleared away. Still looking for a potential way in. Josie Green will recycle. And then fed back by Woodham. Eventually to Vi. Good response really, I think, from Crystal Palace. Verdon to curl in again. Van Hevermaet away. Vi drives towards goal. Too many players in the way. This is Lexi Potter. It's good pressure here. Still Palace pro one way, then the other. Josie Green. Still can't get the clear side of goal. This is Vi again to dig out the cross. It's not the worst ball in. Clear to the edge of the area. Hayashi. Mikato plays it back. Long for Larissy to chase. Everton just looking to settle again here. We've had 9 minutes of this second half. Kelly Gago. Tony Payne. Behind now. Did that just ricochet off Payne's boot? Might have done. Did. XG so far in this game, 0.63 for Everton, 0.48 for Crystal Palace. But the scoreline says 2-0. Not always the best indicator. Expected goals. Palace playing with a bit of pace in this second half, though. This is Ashley Verdon to turn. Stengel to lay off. Lexi Potter to have a go. Oh, gets underneath it. Possession stats 57-43 now, incidentally. Songard, who of course assisted on the first goal. She's got an assist and a goal in the game. Really good return from her. Signed a new deal at the start of the season. Of course, twin Karen is on the bench after coming back from injury recently. She's got a handful of substitute appearances. Might see her at some stage in this second half. Catherine Vai. Yanez. Lexi Potter. Threaded back by Woodham for Green. Potter again. Woodham's obviously gone to a more advanced role since Catherine Vai has come on and is playing left back where Woodham was playing in the first half. Mikato trapped by Schnois. Everton will clear. It's going back at them though fairly quickly. There she. Gago battles, loses out. Now and plays it back. And here's Josie Green, awkward one. Swabby controls under pressure from Gago. And brought down by Kelly Gago. Do sense we're going to get more goals in this one. We mentioned the fact that there's so many goals coming Crystal Palace's games late on. 13 in the final 10, 3-4-10 against. Green. Oh, there's a slip there. There's an opportunity for Clarissa Larissy. Needs a bit of help. Here is Green. Woodham for Vai. Where is there a way through potentially for Palace here? Stengel looking to turn. Well marshalled though by Heather Payne. Vai. Stengel. Vin. Just sense that those players have got to be inside the penalty area really. Players that can do the damage. Vidden's taking on all comers over on that left-hand side at the moment. Here is Vai again. Well, dominating possession. Oh, and then Swaby gives it away. And Tony Payne might be quick enough to get on the end of this one. Not quite. Now and across. Change to be made. And we are going to see Paige Riley by the looks of things here. So the player who did score against Everton very early on, as we mentioned, in the reverse fixture back in November. He's also scored against West Ham recently in the 5-2 away reverse in December. That's the alteration for Palace's second swap for the visitors as we approach the hour. Stengel. Powering on. Can she inspire? Too much on that. It's a good idea. Milder probably had it covered anyway. Everton's turn to come forwards. Gago's on the move. Gets to the byline, takes a touch. That's clever from Kelly Gago, who will tap it back. Shot from Snowis was blocked. Clever from home guard. She looking to use her strength. Well, she did well initially. Looking to just ease the defender out of the way, but credit Clarissa Larissy, who's come back to help out the defenders. Riley. Hayashi. Home guard calling for it again on the left-hand side. She's got space maybe to get the cross in here. As Sada home guard. And step over then another. Looks to find Tony Payne. A lot of focus on Palace here to try and get away from the foot of the table, but Everton have been stealthily good, haven't they, really? Taken their chances really well. Two headed goals and defended pretty stoutly. Palace have had glimpses of goal. Boston's made a good save, and she's been fairly commanding with balls inside the penalty area. Flip of the league table, of course. Is there Everton going to jump to 19 points if it stays as it is, and they'll go ahead of Tottenham, and there'll be 10 points between themselves and Crystal Palace. And then we're just 2 points behind Liverpool in the standings, obviously, who will play tomorrow. Ashley Vedden. Still going, surrounded by blue shirts. Won't fall for a Palace player, runs into trouble. Of course, Liverpool playing later today, I beg your pardon, rather than tomorrow. They're away at Arsenal in the late kick-off. So should Arsenal win as they're expected to? Gago again racing towards the byline, and that's clever play again from Kelly Gago. Again, she looks to try and tee it up. It'll come here to the edge of the area, and Heather Payne. Comfortable save, really, from Yanez. Good first touch, well struck. Easy save. Back come Everton again, Hayashi. Gago, who's been excellent in this second half. And cross, of course, that led to the second goal of the game, and that really turned it on his head, didn't it? Because just a one-goal advantage. Palace were always in it too. It's a huge ask. Never come from behind to win a WSL game. Crystal Palace, and it's going to be very, very difficult now. 2 down with 25 minutes remaining. Potter. Oh, good ball over to the left-hand side, and instant control as well from Clarissa Larissy. She's got pace here, the Canadian. This is Larissy. Looks to play it across the face of goal. Surely she has to go for goal herself. Brilliant pace, terrific technique and control, but the end product wasn't there. This is Vi. Palace come again, Larissy again, still going. Just a corner, is it? Well, we've not really seen that turn of pace in the fixture. Just look at this. Great touch, great technique, shrugs off the attentions of Payne, races inside the area. I think she's got to go for goal herself, you know, I really do. Be more positive. Coming to the midpoint of this second period, up goes the signal, left-hand side. Woodham to deliver. Flicked on and up, not quite away. That's all a bit awkward. This is Catherine Vai to curl back in, and then glanced away by Holmgaard. That's a corner, surely. Good pressure here from Crystal Palace. They are not done with just yet. Another corner left-hand side. And it comes again. Again, it's good delivery. Nodded up into the air. And now was lurking. Everton will clear. Now and again to flick back. Sliveden. Last line of defence when it comes to corners. Potter. Field here for Katie Stengel to try and curl one from distance. Gago. Everton under a little bit of pressure, but with a 2-goal cushion here. And Haverman. Hayashi. The pace of this second half has been much better than the first for the most part. Towards Gago. Bouncing ball that's controlled and cleared. And Larissi looking to use her pace again here, and she's gone in behind. Brilliant from Clarissa Larissi. This time she does go for glory, but this time it's an effort that's well wide. It's such a shame. She showed real pace once again, and just look at the strength as well, because we know that Fernandez is strong, but Clarissa Larissi does brilliantly. She does take a look across. Decides this time to blast towards goal. Ashley Vidden's not in a position there. I think it's the right call. It's just a finish that's not quite good enough. But she is certainly giving Everton all sorts of problems at the back. Changes here. Heather Payne's coming off. Back into the starting lineup, and Payne to be replaced for the final 21 or so. Lucy Hope coming on. Scored against City in that 2-1 win. And Kanchisnois is coming off as well. Beatrice Sarri, the player to come on, scored against Villa in the 1-1 draw back in January, signed from Brighton in the summer. So alterations for Everton, just to inject a little bit more energy and pace and fresh legs and all that. Gago racing forward, flag is up. Now and forward, easily cut out. Quite to the pace of play, Beatrice Sarri waited for the ball to come to her, and you can't in a game as fast as furious as this one. Vai just gets away from Woodham. Everton play out from the back. Hayley Ladd. Away from Clarissa Larissi. Fernandez. Set it through for Van Havermaet. This is Hayashi. Good from Everton. Payne. Hayashi. Back towards Payne, but it's cut out. And Hevermat wants some more. Hayashi. Cross is driven in towards the back post, and the header from Gago is easily saved. Got it well, did Gago in between defenders. Listen, Swabby there just clutching an ankle as she went down. Swabby. Driven to this right-hand side. Clarissa Larissy is on it like a flash, and she's got the pace to get there. What about the cut back? Wins a corner. 18 minutes remaining here. You still sense that there could be something in this for Crystal Palace. It has not been easy for them, obviously. 2 down here, but they've really put in a good performance in this second half, you sense. Good response to going 2 down so early. In comes the delivery with a corner towards the back post. It's flicked away. If leaves it. This one's going to be launched inside the box by the looks of things here as Palace look to get one back. Inside the box, Van Hevermat away. Trying to curl in again. And towards Ashley Verdon. Jumps more in hope than expectation, you sense there. This is Lily Woodham. Oh, turned back by Potter, but it's easily cut out. And Everton can come forwards here. This is Tony Payne, who will flick it beyond Swaby. Gets goal side. Body between player and ball and does well. Good defensive work. Not been easy for Alison Swaby today. Good battle, isn't it, between the two number 29s there. Gago and Swaby. Four appearances now for Crystal Palace for Alison Swaby after coming from Milan, of course. Gago does well. On guard, wins a corner. And flag was up. Stengel. Van Hevermat and Payne between them help win it back. Real togetherness about this Everton squad as well, isn't there? They fight really hard. And they just might be a little too good for Palace on the day today. Sense that if Palace could have their season again, if they start in this sort of form back in September, that it might have been a little bit different, but just took them too much time really to get to grips with the WSL maybe. Everton come forward again. This is Sari. Pops towards Ladd. Sari again. It'll break for Kelly Gago, who does get the cross in. Ashley Verdon shoulder to shoulder there with Lucy Hope. She does well. Catherine Vai. Riley. Stengel. Lexi Potter. Vai. Does get the cross in. Good move this. Larissy was jumping but denied. Hayashi away. Tony Payne on the move. Gago running through the centre. Payne slows it down. Referee's going to hold play here. Issue once again with Palace player this time. Or is he potentially the player who's down? Well, Palace have really put a shift in since going 2 down, but it's looking increasingly likely here that they're not going to get anything from this game. It'd be a real shame for them. And player down here, maybe just because of cramp. I think it may well be Clarissa Larissy, who's been brilliant when she's been on the ball. Very, very quick to counter. But Everton have defended well, and it looks like they are big odds on now to grab a 4th clean sheet of the campaign. Let's remind you of how Everton lead by 2-0. This goal, nothing really, the corner. Everton hadn't really threatened from set pieces prior to this, but high flighted ball. Justine van Havermaet nodded towards goal. There was 2 Palace players on the line, but Stengel and Nouwen couldn't keep it out, and Everton had the lead just before the break. And then just after the break, well, a goal after, what was it, 22, 23 seconds, something like that. Unbelievable start to the second period. Gago it was that took a look up. She knew that Humgaard was inside the penalty area. Pinpoint cross, glancing finish into the corner. And Everton had their second. And when you score so early in second periods, it's difficult for the opposition to react, because the instructions and the plans, the tactics will have changed immediately from what you talked about at half-time. Change here, meanwhile, for Palace with Annabelle Blanchard coming on. Larissy is going to stay on, but we've just seen Blanchard enter the fray. And it's Lily Woodham, the player that's come off. So Woodham off and Blanchard on for the final dozen minutes plus added on time or so. Larissy okay to continue. Well, just a reminder that you can keep up to date by clicking the link in the comments with all the latest Barclays WSL action. And we've got something to offer you as well. If you want to win a Barclays WSL signed shirt and a pair of tickets to any match this season, all you have to do is scan the QR code to enter our competition. Everton 2 to the good, and looking good to see this out and grab a crucial victory in the WSL this season. It would just be their 5th of the campaign. Struggled earlier on this season with all the injuries affecting what Brian Sorensen was trying to do, but they have been better recently. Certainly at home they were unbeaten in 4 prior to that Arsenal reverse. Just 1 defeat in their last 5 and 2 in their last 7. Walton Hall Park has been a bit of a fortress. Brian Sorensen said that we've prepared well all week. Good training sessions, really ready for this one. So talked about the fact that he expected Palace to be a counter-attacking side. He said they played to their strength a little bit more since Leif Smed took over. Also talked about the fact that he thought it was odd that they haven't got it to click in the WSL, so they've got some very good players in their squad. But 5 games after this, all is not done and dusted just yet. We'll see what happens to Aston Villa against Manchester United tomorrow. Sense it may well go down to the wire. Palace haven't given this one up just yet. 10 minutes remaining. Everton lead by 2-0. But after that mini storm, that squall, that Palace put Everton under a bit of pressure that didn't produce a goal. Everton look like they're back in control a little bit now. Swabby forced to turn back. No one lets it run through. Yanez. Palace to move through the gears. Everton to win it back and then lose possession. Catherine Vai. Movement by Blanchard, can't keep it in play. 3 goals this season for Annabelle Blanchard in the WSL. A couple in that win over Leicester. Scored in the defeat at the hands of Villa as well. For further options, further changes, I should say, as Everton utilised their options on the bench, as you can see. Tony Payne hasn't added to a assist or goals tally today, but she's played well. And Lawley coming on. And the other change here is Rika Madsen coming on. Ayashi coming off.
Being replaced by, and welcome back to number 26, Rika Madsen.
Yeah, Rika Madsen, who is back for the first time this season after giving birth to her first child. First appearance of the campaign for Rika Madsen. Great to see her back on the pitch. All smiles with the teammates as she gets the first taste of WSL action in the 24-25 campaign. So those are the changes late on for Everton here. And Lawley has got a lot of experience, mainly used as a substitute this season, signed from Liverpool. But an awful lot of WSL experience, and she'll help get Everton over the line. You sense here with 7 minutes remaining, but all that momentum that Palace built up with the corners and the pressure and the half chances, the quarter chances, that's disintegrated, hasn't it now? Lawley battling away straight away. And Rika Madsen also getting involved from the get-go here. The 2 substitutes herring around. Well, another day, the penalties awarded, you're back to 2-1. Who knows what might have happened. Stengel tried to stay on her feet, had the opportunity, was saved, penalty was not awarded. But you've got to be sharper from the restart. You can't concede after 22, 23 seconds. Swabby. Kato. It's going to spin away. No, it's going to be kept in play here. Still a chance maybe here for Palace. It's a deeper cross though, but over hit. Kept in play by Riley. She does well. First up the Everton defender. Blanchard. Curling effort towards the far post. Does it skim off an Everton head? Yeah, corner. There didn't seem to be too much contact there. Another change. You can see Izzy Atkinson. And also Elise Hughes, I think, here. Hughes has scored so many goals in the championship last season, 16 in 21. Hughes coming on, and Izzy Atkinson has been used as a substitute this campaign. Fearden shown bits of form. Want to come off. So late changes here for Palace. Larissy, the other player that's gone off. In comes the corner towards the near post. Hits the side netting, just curled a bit too much. Palace have played their hands in terms of changes. Well, into the final 3.5. We will get a few minutes of added on time. We had the odd stoppage. Obviously needed a little bit of treatment for cramp. And we had that, well, the penalty, of course, that was awarded then wasn't. This is Gago and Swarby, shoulder to shoulder, corner to Everton. The time that they've gone behind in a WSL fixture this season. Previous 10, they've lost 9, drawn only 1. Always an uphill task, and then when you go 2 down, well, almost impossible, isn't it? Everton take their time. On guard, who's scored and assisted in this fixture for Everton. Hoists it towards the back post. There goes header, drifts wide. Rosewell, just unable to direct it on target. She's led the line really well, hasn't she? Kelly Gago along with Tony Payne. They're a really good partnership. Yanez to curl away. Crystal Palace with a throw. Well, if they are to grab late goals as they did against Villa, or at least one late goal against Villa, they've got to do it now. If it's to be meaningful, they've got to get 2. Mentioned all those goals coming late on in Palace fixtures. Are we going to see a grandstand finish here? Swaby away. Everton bouncing to get a third, aren't they here? Kelly Gago does get the cross in here. No one in blue, though, to get on the end of it. Catherine Vai. Good running from Stengel, but she won't get there. One back by Beatrice Sari. Towards the far post, but again, too much on that one. Riley overhit the delivery. Everton on the move. We're into the 90th minute. Plenty of changes as well, of course, in this second half, so I suspect we'll get quite a little bit of added on time here. Riley. It's rather straight, and it's comfortably taken. Courtney Brosnan, who's been excellent. 4th clean sheet of the season, is very much in the offing here as we tick to the 90. 5 minutes of added on time. 5 minutes for Palace to perform the miracle. They headed to Merseyside in the northwest today, really believing that they could get back-to-back wins for the first time in the WSL this season and lift themselves off the bottom of the table. Real incentive off the back of that Villa win last weekend, and of course Villa, the team that they would leapfrog, but there's going to be 2 points between the two, it would appear, at the end of this fixture with Villa to play tomorrow. We are going to see Karen Holmgaard. Hayley Ladd, who's been neat and tidy in midfield as per usual. Controls the game well, very, very good on the ball. Karen Holmgaard is on, so twin of Sarah. Both will enjoy being on the pitch for the final 4 minutes or so. Might get another minute added here by Adi Sonet. All the changes made now by both teams. Well, Everton can be proud of their performance today. They would have known that Palace were the team coming into it off the back of that big win over Villa that had a little bit of momentum maybe for the first time this season. First opportunity to jump off the foot of the table for quite some time. But Everton have been really professional. It's been a good performance from Brian Torreson's side. They started promisingly. They had much more of the ball in the first half. They weathered the mini storms, the squalls that Palace had in this game. Defensively been sound. The likes of Payne has worked hard. Gago's been a constant threat at the other end. And really well taken goals. 2 headed goals, one from Van Hevermaet, of course, in the first half, and the other from Sarah Holmgaard. And those 2 efforts looks like they're going to give Everton a 2-0 win. Don't want to say comfortable. Yes, they've been professional here, but Palace have played their part, and they've been competitive, Crystal Palace. Triki Sari gets to the byline, does deliver the cross. Really looking to get on the end of that one, but unable to do so. This is Catherine Vai. And yes, still Melissa Lawley. Good energy here from the substitute, Alison Swaby. Picked up by Holmgaard. Is there to be a third? That will be a little bit cruel on Palace, but Everton won't care. In comes the delivery. Next up for Everton, as we mentioned early, opportunity to grab some more points, potentially with a game away at Manchester United and then Manchester City after that, then Brighton at home, Liverpool away, Merseyside derby, Spurs after that. So some winnable fixtures certainly. It's going to be tough against United next week for sure. Finish there and schedule with that game against Spurs. Everton corner scored from a flag kick. Obviously, it looked really dangerous from situations like this. Up goes the signal. Driven in low. Fades everybody and then cleared away. Lawley loses out. Palace coming forwards. Atkinson knocks it forwards. Hughes is chasing this one all the way down. Good determination and industry, but Everton have the quality. Explosive start to the second half at both ends. Everton scoring, Palace didn't get the penalty that was initially awarded. Gago racing free here. This could be a third late on. It's Kelly Gago to take a touch and still going. Well, she's had a big influence on this football match, Kelly Gago. And she grabs a third for Everton with just seconds remaining to put the icing on the cake of an Everton performance here that has been good from back to front. She's been a real threat, and she adds to her assist earlier on in this second half by cutting inside and then just flicking over Shea Yanez to give Everton a third. Palace will feel that they don't deserve to lose by 3. But Everton have been ruthless when the chances have been presented to them by and large. And a 3-0 success will go in the books. Really well taken goal by Kelly Gago, who grabs her 4th WSL goal since moving in the winter from Nantes. Referee's going to give us an extra minute here, obviously, after the goal was scored and the celebrations because of it. And this is Vi. Been serenaded by the Everton fans throughout the game, Kelly Gago. Palace not good enough to jump off the foot of the table. Everton with a professional display here. Brian Sorenson's side putting 3 past Palace. Van Hevermaet with a header. 23 seconds into the second half, home guard again with a header, and then Gago in added on time at the end of the game to put a little bit of polish on the scoreline from an Everton point of view. Palace competed for large parts but weren't good enough, and this was Everton, a side on the up that put Palace to the sword. Full time here, Everton 3, Crystal Palace 0.